Last session we picked up sort of mid to late morning. Hand of Aegis pick up a couple more clues that they don't locate yet. So those are theoretically still floating out there. Bardor spots Rauri, the falcon of Gethin the falconer, perched on a building near the docks. Hand of Aegis goes into the courtyard to kind of scope out the scene and sees that there's like 20 guards and 6 weaveworms at the gates, plus at least another 10 on the walls. This is definitely higher than usual. And so Eska plans to stay behind and watch while the rest of the group look for maybe solve clues or just look for something else. Kedok stays behind with Eska, and Eska goes into the bar that's kind of like right near the entrance to the castle, and sits herself down with a portly merchant called Silas the Round. I've got him down as, which is a wonderful name. Barmaid brings some rosé for Eska, which I don't think she pays for, because I'm pretty sure she's convinced Silas to pay for it without too much effort. Eska keeps an eye on things. And in the meantime, the rest of the group go off. They see that a little before noon, a lot of the side roads onto the western road that leads towards from the walls towards the courtyard in front of the castle, and then ultimately to the Great Green. A lot of those side roads are getting blocked off with barricades to stop foot traffic in, through onto that western road itself. And right around when that's happening, that big group of guards and weaveworms heads west, presumably towards the starting point of the parade. So now there's just 3 at the gate itself with 1 weaveworm, and only 1 visible on each tower. Kedox sees... everyone kind of groups back together. Bardor and Eska find a nice little hidey hole. People put on the guard gear that they have. Claire casts Enhance Ability on Eska, Cosette, and Silverius. Silverius also casts Comprehend Languages, and then Eska successfully casts Seeming from the scroll, which gently combusts in her hands. And then everyone is changed in Eska's choosing. So, as a reminder what everyone looks like, Silverius currently looks like about a 50-year-old human, tall, big droopy mustache, tired eyes. Bardor, jolly halfling, long wavy blonde hair, waddly gait. Cosette, stern half-elf female, mohawk ponytail combo. Claire, male dwarf, big grey bushy beard, puffing out in all directions, short fuzzy hair that cannot be contained by a helmet. Eska, half wood elf male, ginger hair, wispy beard. Smoky, Kenku magpie. Kedox rests on Severus' shoulder as the group head towards the gate. Eska objects and Kedox is banished. Cosette, Eska up front. Severus and Claire smoking flanky. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so. Smoking flanky.
Smoking flanky. See, that's going to set me off coughing. Don't say anything funny. With Bardor picking up the rear, which is how you look on the map. So you see the large statue of the liver over on the right. And the 3 guards and 1 weaveworm in the gate. And that is where we pick up. So it is just after midday. Temperature is barely above freezing. It's just cracked above freezing. So, it's like probably at this point, maybe say 12, 10. And Cosette and Eska, you are the two at the front, so lead on.
And just to confirm, so the three we see
Yes.
here, the weave worm, and then you said one in each tower. So those are like these towers right by the doors or the gate.
Yes.
Okay, so they're like up on top there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just not visible from here, in terms of on the map. But yes. So that's the. Let me switch to player view so I can see your perspective quickly. It looks different on my map.
And then question 2, what was enhanceability again?
So that is advantage on charisma ability rolls.
Oh, that's right. You can choose
an hour. Yes.
Which ability it is. Okay.
Yeah, in this case it was
Got it.
charisma because makes sense. So yes, you've sort of got the walls, the big gates, and so on top of the sort of the slightly larger sections there, you can see one guard on each side, and there is like a walkway that covers it, covers over where the gates close. The walls are a good sort of 20 feet.
Okay, so they could cross over if they wanted to.
Yes. Yeah, it's just not represented on the map. But yes, it is covered across the top as well. But it's very hard to display on a map when you want to be able to show the underside of it. Very, very messy. So just assume it's there. So yeah. The space is yours. Lead on.
And we're just going for the casual taking a prisoner?
Just the old casual taking the prisoner approach.
The whole
Works every time.
standard Death Star infiltration plan.
As Eska peels off and attacks the dragon statue.
Yeah. PTSD. I mean, Eska's going to try and look pretty unconcerned and relaxed, but at the same time, moving with purpose.
Gotcha. Smokey's just kind of keeping eyes down, not making a peep or a cheep or any sort of other noise that one could make.
I guess as we get close, do the guards seem bothered by us approaching?
They don't seem particularly perturbed as you get closer. The weaveworm kind of sniffs, and you've seen this now, having seen them a couple of times. They just sort of have a habit of sniffing the air. And you know, whether it's because there's like a faint or like lingering taste in the air of the spell that was cast that's still affecting you, or if it's just something that you happen to do all the time, kind of unclear. You've witnessed them do it a lot, but you've often had magic active in some capacity around them, so the specifics are hard to define. But you know, there's three guards there. The one on the left as you look at them is kind of on his own there. He is the most interested and looks up since Cosette is closest to him. Just kind of gives you the old like upwards nod of acknowledgement.
The old same shit, different day.
That's the one. And vaguely raises an eyebrow, like a quarter inch. But you're close enough at this point that you can see that there's a nonverbal question asked.
Does Cassette look like she's going to talk?
So you're saying he's like expecting us to answer, even though he's not paying much attention.
Yeah, he's you know, he's just sort of like there's a hint of a question being asked.
Just like kind of a formality, but still like that's protocol.
Yeah, and I mean, there's 5 of you currently escorting someone who had, I believe, Smokey does have like some rope, around the sort of. Do Kenku actually have arms, or is it just wings that they're really adept?
They do have arms. They're February arms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, the arms are sort of like loosely, but made to look not loosely bound.
Didn't we have some manacle? Did we manacle? I'm trying to remember now.
It's possible you could have manacled.
I thought we had some manacles.
You may have done.
From maybe like the dwarf dungeon
here,
or something, like the temple.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I
might be making that up.
I think
Certainly,
someone picked them up.
Certainly there is some sort of securage happening with the arms. But yeah, so the hands are certainly restrained in one way or another. But yeah, so as you're sort of like walking closer,
Yeah, I don't know if we came up with an alibi for what we were bringing her in for, but I guess she'll just kind of very stoically just kind of say, bringing in a prisoner. These, I don't know. She'll say something like, everyone gets crazy on these days of celebration.
Ain't that the truth?
Esker will add, it's a caster, and kind of try and give a knowing look as well.
As you say that, the god actually spits on the ground in disgust, and the make a actually no, your path is probably fine for this. Just saying the word caster, you see the weaver almost like does a little extra taste of the air in anticipation, hoping that it could mean something fun is about to happen. But yeah, they make no effort to block you.
Then they will survive.
As we get closer, what level do they look like they are?
They look like standard Drake's Warden guards, based on your level of experience. How's that?
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're just carrying on?
Yeah,
Any other
pushing.
conversation?
No, I mean, I'm not going to make any extra effort to engage.
No, I think the only thing I do is just kind of be watching them closely to make sure they don't. I mean, from the way you sound, it sounds like they couldn't. Like, there's no alarm whatsoever raised. Is that true as we get closer and kind of start to breach the gate?
So far so good. Let's have, as you get right up close, and they're actually going to start sort of parting ways, so there's room for you to pass through easily. The weave worm kindly moves aside slightly. Let's have everyone make a this will be group persuasion.
That's advantage with the 3 of us?
That's correct. It is advantage for 3 of you.
But for everybody, or
All for everybody. Everybody's rolling.
With advantage?
Sorry, ignore my roll.
No, just the three who have Eagle
No,
Splendor.
that's
on
definitely not me.
That is correct. That is not you.
18 for cassette.
13 Sylvarius.
21 for Eska.
11.
This one hit that one there. Oh. Waiting for me to decide if it was public or private. Oof. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's the versus back.
Don't tell me that.
Oh, I see.
Don't tell me that was Smokey.
How
No,
did-
it was Claire who rolled. Oh, Claire who
Oh,
rolled a
okay.
one.
I was about to say, how did Smokey have a 2 on the first one and a -1 on the second one? That makes sense.
It's okay. It would have taken colossally bad roll to fail that. But there was a chance. Because you are impersonating another group. So, you know. So you get past them. They don't really seem to pay you too much mind at all as you go through. Oh. And that guy seems to be following you. Hold on. Get back there.
He's so hungry.
So they kind of go back to their position. And yeah. Where are you heading now?
My memory says left, but my memory could be wrong. Did anybody make good notes about what we were told?
I just have to find them.
But we definitely got some directions off of the other tabaxi, I think. Even if it was
The
basic
smaller-
ones.
Yeah, the smaller entrance on the left was less busy, and it has the holding cells 1 level down.
I think that's where we're aiming and see where it goes from there. Because I mean, they've
Is-
been taken prisoner, so, I mean, it did sound like they'd... I'm not for sure that they're there, but maybe there leads to them somehow.
I definitely feel like that is probably the direction, that and down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we talked about there possibly being at the... Because heading down was towards the cells, but then potentially even further down may have been possibly a portal.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the sensible place to start.
From where we are now, are there only the guards at the gate, or are there any expectant faces at any of the other doors?
Yeah, you don't see anybody else on the ground here on the outside. You do see further down the wall, you know, there's some of these towers sort of periodically around the outside wall. And at each tower, you can just about see the top of one of the guards, at least as far as you can see before it gets blocked off by the keep, which projects quite high. So certainly higher than the walls. But yeah, so that there is at least, you would assume, at least one guard on every tower around the walls right now. Potentially more. And then, yes, as far as inside this courtyard area, currently you do not see, excuse me, you don't see any guards. You just see essentially 3 options. I mean, eyeballing it, you would say that the center one has seen a lot more traffic. The path is clearer and wider. And then path left and right are definitely a lot less trafficked.
Okay. And just as a point of detail, the the guards on the towers, does each tower have like a stairwell or a ladder attached? Or like, just curious what the the inside of these walls look like in terms
Yeah.
of accessibility.
Make a perception check as you're walking through the gatehouse.
Normal. 18.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you were able to kind of peer past. The doors are cracked open on either side. And you do get a glimpse of what looks like stairs leading up. On the left tower as you walk past it. The right tower, because of the way the door's angled, you can pretty much just see the wall through there. So, based on where the stairs are on the left tower, you would assume they're sort of behind the door in the other tower if they're there. But definitely stairs in the left tower to lead up.
Okay.
Head left.
Yep. I mean, well, I'm following. So
Yes. We'll go the pre-planned way.
All right. So you keep walking over at a leisurely pace, and eventually get to this door.
Does it have a handle?
It does.
Perfect.
our
Opening.
plan undone.
All right. As you open,
Quick, crack the door and throw a flashbang in.
that is an option available to you if you have flashbang. So as you open, you see a couple of guards either side of a door, and then corridor here is about 10 feet wide. So like directly 10 feet across from the door, there's another door as you go in, and then it kind of peels off left and right of that initial wall, and then there appears to be corridors leading away from the entrance. I feel like I've described that terribly. I mean, it helps that you can see it, but for people who can't see it, it's you know, they're kind of like walking into a T-junction, and then each of those two sides ends up going further in the direction they were already going. Oh,
Like a U
you know
shape.
what I mean. A U shape, yes. You're entering at the bottom of the U. Thank you, Spencer. So, Eska, you leading in first, since you opened the door?
I open it and offer Cassette to walk through.
Okay.
Ladies
I'll
first.
ask you to control yourselves to enter in.
Now, when we walk in, can we see through? Is this door open? Can we see through it? Just trying to gauge.
So the door is cracked, you can't see through.
Is there a sign above it?
Does it feel like the kind of door that leads to a dungeon?
Yeah. And I guess do the guards kind of move to the side at all? I know they're pretty spaced out, but like.
So they, as soon as you kind of open the door and walk in, they straighten up a little bit. They were just kind of resting up against the wall, and then suddenly, oh!
Put their phones away, like just kind of, yeah.
Right.
Actually, what Cassette will do is she'll kind of cut to the side to let the rest come in and kind of just watch them to see if they give any hints, like to open the door. She'll say like, "Got a prisoner," and she'll kind of step to the side to let everyone come in, to see if they give any hints on which which way we should go.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you see this corridor comes up, the left prong of the U, and there's a door at the end of the corridor about 40 feet away. Flare pops in. Smokey pops in. Oh, on top of Severus. Might be.
I was about to ask who has the smoky rope.
Let's say you do.
Okay, I was about to opt to do that when going in.
So when you say you got a prisoner, the guard on the left just looks and kind of says, "Yep, that'll happen," and just says, "Down you go," and gives a slight nod of the head. Give me an insight roll.
Oh no.
That's charisma. Get that
That's
advantage.
wisdom.
Is it? Never mind.
Oh. 19 on the die for 21.
21. So, you kind of try to assess this nod, realizing that this could be a very important nod for you. Was this just a nod of, well, here you go? Or was this a, well, that's the way you go? Or, yeah, that's just the way things are. And kind of weighing up all those options. Based on how they're standing, and trying to put all of this together, and listening a little bit, you think that there's a little bit of noise creeping out from the cracked door that to you suggests maybe it's a little guards like rec area type thing, like when they're off duty. Sounds like maybe there's some guards like playing cards or something in there. Just basically like there's a little bit of low chatter, and then occasionally you hear a little ruckus come out that probably means that someone just cheated. And you suspect that the nod was leading you down the left U-bend, not the right U-bend. I will say, as Claire kind of filters in off this side and does also reveal what's happening down there on the right prong, and again, there's another corridor that goes down about 40 or so feet. Well, actually, it goes beyond 40 feet. But about 30 feet down, there's a door on the right that appears to be leading over towards the general entrance area.
Well, I guess Cassette will start walking the left side. To her, it kind of makes sense. If middle path is probably something else, it's unlikely that they take prisoners towards the main entryway, so to her it makes sense too.
Yaska's going to give a nod to the guard that spoke and a kind of knowing roll of the eyes and follow.
Alrighty. You are able to head down this 40-foot corridor. It's a little tight with all of you walking down there. Especially since you're sort of having to corral Smokey. Smokey, again, just head down. Knows that anything they say can and will be used against them. So just keeping quiet. And you get to another door.
Go
Does
through?
it have a handle?
Yeah,
It does have a
standard door
handle,
questions.
yes.
It's all going well.
All right. So you opening and heading through?
Yep.
Okay. You come to a staircase. Spiral staircase, wide. It's like it's 10-foot wide spiral. Well, I guess really the spiral's 20 feet wide. Probably like 22, 23 feet wide to account for the column in the middle. But the steps are 10 feet wide. Excuse me. Leading up and down. Hard to say how far up and how far down, simply because it spirals out of view in each case.
This seems familiar from the instructions, if I recall.
I'm assuming down, but I don't.
You don't see any guards here right now, for what it's worth.
I think we were supposed to go down. Or I think that's where the two we were looking for were supposed to be at.
Yeah, start walking down. I guess single file, kind of, right?
Well, it's wide enough that you can maintain your
okay.
Your normal route. So.
And we go.
Okay. As you go down the first spiral, it comes out to, like you feel like you do a full sort of rotation essentially, and there is like a little landing with another door that looks pretty much the same as all the other ones. The stairs do keep going down.
Feel like we just got to keep walking.
Yeah.
So, Savaris does mention, I forget his name, so Savaris forgets his name. No, never mind. Marius mentioned the stairwell down twice was to the sewers.
Is that too far?
I am not sure. There should be cells on this floor.
Wait here one moment. I guess Eska's, whilst we're paused here, as soon as there's nobody around, she's gonna see what she can see if she walks onto the landing a little ways.
I mean, so the landing is very small. It's literally just
it
like
leads to a door.
you step off, and then there's a door. Yeah.
She's
That's
gonna open
currently
the door.
closed. Okay. How do you open the door?
Oh, there's not a handle on this one, is there?
No, there's a handle.
Okay.
I just mean, how are you opening it? Are you cracking it? Are you opening with confidence and striding through?
I'm gonna open it as if I open this door every day.
Okay. All right. So you open it, and it opens out into another corridor that is very similar in length to the one above, approximately 40 feet, at which point you can see it turns. The left wall, the right wall is just solid. The left wall, as you're looking at it, does appear to be mostly metal bars of cells. And at the far end, rocking back on a stool, rocking back on like in a chair with their feet propped up on a crate, you see Drake's warden guard just kind of like sitting there whittling at a bit of wood, sort of like older guy, probably like late 50s, maybe early 60s, scruffy beard. Just kind of looks up and gives you a nod.
So she's gonna... I feel like we're at the point where we have to be a little bit risky. So she's going to shorten the distance and say, we have another prisoner. Magic user.
He kind of like scratches at his beard a bit and he says, like, what kind? Like, special or just regular run-of-the-mill crap?
We thought regular run-of-the-mill, but I think they're going to want to see this one. This one's... There's something special.
He rolls his eyes and looks unhappy. Better you than me. Well, I'm pretty full up here anyway. Take him down. It's Chaz and Gygar down there right now.
Oh, Chaz, good.
They'll
good.
Yeah, Gygar's a dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chaz, they'll open up for you so you can go through. You'll probably just have to put them in the holding area over there, though. I think they're probably pretty busy today. But have word with one of the birds, and they'll probably come and take a look, I guess.
Do I get any sense when he says take him on down immediately at this point? Does he give any indication where or what that means?
He the way he says it means that you should know exactly what it is. He thinks you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Is there a door past him? Or
you can't see one. He's sort of like at the end of the corridor. The corridor does kind of turn at the end.
Now, just to reminisce, do we have any memory of so somebody says that the going down like another flight would get us to the sewers. Do we remember if that... Do we have any more notes about whether that was a good thing? Because that's where you're getting to the place where you go through. I know we kind of feel like there's portals underneath, so... But does anybody have anything more concrete? I'm sort of assuming we'd have discussed this beforehand, so I wanted to make sure. or if we're just sort of flying by the seat of our pants here.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't have anything in my notes about that.
I wrote in my notes, but I don't understand what I wrote. I said,
Say it to us, and we'll try and interpret it.
Up to walls, offices of roles. Down will take to cells. I don't know what offices of roles is.
It doesn't sound important, hopefully.
It's probably the most important part. Down twice sewers entrance.
I can
down,
assist.
down
with
twice
the
sewers entrance?
offices.
Uh-huh.
The offices of roles. That is things like the Master of Commerce and
Actual roles.
Minister of Commerce. The various sort of like city dignitaries that maintain an office here in the castle.
That makes sense.
So that would have probably been more relevant if you were doing your merchant method.
Gotcha.
Which was, I don't know, plan D or E, maybe. I lost track.
Yeah.
Whenever you spoke, I know this is a little out of order and out of character, I guess, but did they say they were underground? The Colisentero?
They didn't have good visibility. I remember that. They got moved once.
It sounds to me, from what I'm interpreting from this guy, it feels like what he's saying is we need to go through the portal. It sounds like the special ones are taken through the portal to wait. That's what I'm interpreting from what he says. Especially seeing as he's like, rather you than me. I get the impression that it's not pleasant, whether that's because of the bosses or what. I don't know. But that's what I'm kind of taking from what he's saying. And then they're processing them wherever that place goes to. But I honestly don't know. That was just my initial interpretation.
In this, he said he was full up, so like as we're walking around and kind of just meandering about, can I take a look around to see if these two are in here potentially? Maybe they got moved to a better spot.
Yeah, you can, if you want to go in after Eska, because as far as I know so far, Eska's
Yeah, I mean, I'll go in and take a look around.
Yeah, so there's 4 cells on this wall. And they have the facing out edge is the bars, and then the other 3 walls are stone. And you just looking inside, you don't see anyone who kind of fits the description of a Colas or a Teta. You do, I mean, you see some fairly bedraggled folks. You see quite a few people with what look like fresh injuries. That look probably inflicted by blunt instruments like fists. If you had to guess. But, yeah, that's about it.
I'll just shake my head and say just riffraff in here.
And the guard at the end says, every day.
So Eska's gonna... So he's towards the end of the corridor, right? Or is he against the back wall?
He's like basically right against that back wall in the corner. And he's like leaning up against it almost in his chair.
Eska's gonna kind of wander, and sort of chat and say her attempt is going to be to get up in line with him and be able to look down the corridor casually whilst chatting, and she's going to kind of say, "Oh, all been quiet for you in here today with everything outside?"
Quiet than usual. Ain't got half as many guards. They're all doing that silly parade. Poor sods.
Yeah. It's not great. So she's going to try and get as much information, whether she can see anything useful or get a sense that it goes to somewhere nastier or nicer or different. I mean, anything.
Right. So what you would see is it basically does mirror the shape of what you saw above. So you get to the end of the corridor. Since I know you can still see the corridor that you were in previously. The basic shape is pretty accurate, except the area that's blacked off for you right now on the map. That's where the cells are.
Okay.
So you would be essentially sort of having to walk down here to see what you see, and what you see is it goes on about 15 feet.
Then turns
then
again.
Turns left again. And I mean, you can stroll that 15 feet, and there's no door at the end, like there is up above. So
More
you've got
cell
a solid
openings
wall.
potentially on what would be my left, because it's like
so if you were
around the
to-
other side.
Yeah, if you were to go around, you would see more cell openings on the left, and it goes down. It actually goes down, like, instead of like the 40 feet that you had, it goes down like 60, 70 feet, maybe more. And again, cells all the way down that left wall. There is a door pretty much in line with the door above you. So that would kind of lead into an area underneath what you imagine is where the main entrance is. Excuse me. And he says, the guy in the corner just says, well, go on then. Don't want to be stuck in here too long if you can avoid it, I imagine.
When he says that, does that give me an indication of what he means by in here?
Give me an insight roll.
It's a desperate insight roll, but
Not a low DC.
I think this is insight. Oh, hang on, I need to take normal. Oh, I guess take the first one. It didn't trigger before I had done it, but 14.
14, you are not really sure what it means.
Alright, I'm gonna say...
As far as which way to head.
I'm gonna say to him, yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Have a quiet rest of your day. And then she's gonna head back and start walking slowly back towards where we came.
Okay. And says, no, say hi to Chaz for me. Don't say hi to Geiger.
Will do. Okay, so she's hoping because he didn't question the fact that she's now leaving that we're going the right way. I don't know if that's the case, but she's going to head out and encourage Brother to follow along, or I assume he probably would anyway. Okay, sounds like he has.
Yeah, no, I'm following.
And then... Okay, cool. I didn't know if there was, he's going to go off and kill somebody. So he's going to head back out and say, I think we are to head down. If we can keep going in this direction, I think we may be able to get to where they're at. It sounds like the special prisoners are taken somewhere else, which I can only imagine is the portal. If that is the case, as long as we maintain that this prisoner is special, we may be able to just be ushered through. And who knows what will be on the other side, but it's where we were looking to head. And she'll get back in line alongside Cosette. Unless there's any objections to the
I kind
going
of
down.
shake my head, but I'm like, all right, I guess.
There's objections, but they're not strong enough, apparently.
They've come this far.
Alrighty. So you head down, and the it's actually, it feels like maybe more like 1.5, maybe even 2 full rotations before you get to the next area. And this time there's only a single door that leads out. But as you get to that bottom floor, there is a wall sconce, like a torch burning, that actually, if you look at it, you can see this is a magical flame that's burning, rather than, the torch isn't actually being consumed by this fire at all, but it's just left there and lit, and the ground is covered in grimy green, probably algae, maybe. There's like a very thin, watery layer across it, before you even get to the door. You basically get to the final step, and there's little as you step down.
That looks a little concerning.
Eska's kind of letting Cosette take the lead a little bit, seeing as people have talked to her more. I don't know if she's the more in command of the gang that we copied, or if it just happened that she was the closest, but Eska's kind of taken it that she's maybe more the...
Okay.
We opening the door?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if it has a handle.
And you guys are really paranoid about handles for some reason. So you open the door using its handle, and you... That change? No. Alright, oh, do I have to... Sorry, hold on. That's how we do it. So you are over here.
For the listening audience, we moved maps, so it was either the very right door or the very wrong door.
Yeah. We've now moved to the battle
I was
map.
getting there. So
Where is
you
the map? Is
are
it top?
in...
Is it top corner somewhere? Or... Okay, yep, I found it. It's very
I did a
zoomed in.
focus ping, but maybe it didn't focus ping. Ah, okay. That could be the issue.
Okay, cool.
So you are in what feels like very familiar surroundings, yet also different. There's a lot of metal walls and ceiling and probably floor underfoot, but again, there's this layer of grime and filth beneath your feet as you find yourselves back in the sewers. You don't remember seeing any doors when you were in the sewers previously. You kind of walk out of this door. It's just like a regular, slightly warped wooden door in the middle of one of the metal walls. And you are out here in the sewers. I think I can illuminate a bit more of your direction. So you see, you're sort of like in a slightly open area, with, unsurprisingly, paths diverging around you, as you saw so often in the sewers. What is important to note is that there is, down, if we're looking at the map, so you're sort of, there's currently routes off in 5 different directions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. And in what would be the southeast as you look at it, there is the warm glow of torchlight or firelight coming from that direction. All of the other ones currently look like they disappear into the dark.
There's nobody
But
that we can
obviously a little
see.
further. Right now, there is nobody else you can see.
Is the ground still covered in the mossy?
Mm-hmm. It looks very similar to what you encountered when you were traveling in the sewers previously.
We each go a separate way.
Never to be seen again.
It's the fastest way to.
Is the ground in any condition to leave tracks of like a traversed path, a more traversed path?
That could be ascertained if someone wanted to make a survival roll.
Oh, I'm not it.
I feel like I should nudge
okay.
Barder.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll. Yeah.
You don't want me.
He elbows Barder.
Standing
Right
in the
ahead.
back here, just minding my own business. Survival says. $14.
So you've got the 5 routes. You've sort of got north, northwest, west, and then south and southeast. The north, northwest, and west routes do not look like they've had a lot of traffic at all. The bulk of what you can see seems to be heading in a generally south or southeast direction. You'd probably need to move a little further up the corridor to see if there's a split, to know for sure if it leads more one way or the other.
Okay. Let's see. It doesn't really look like many people be going that way. Definitely looks like a lot of traffic down there. Not totally sure if we would leave behind tracks or not.
I mean, I assume we want to head where the traffic heads. It sounded like they had a lot of prisoners in and out. So more traffic seems likely the way.
If we don't, if we don't have any inkling otherwise, it seems the way to go.
Makes sense to me.
All right. Well, any of you can start moving your token, and I'll reveal the map as you reveal it, if you see what I mean.
I'll stay in the back. That's my spot this time.
I think we're one icon again.
You are, yes.
Okay.
So you all have control over that right now, I believe. For better or for worse.
Dangerous.
With Barter's good eyesight, you probably get a little bit more there and a little bit more here.
And we're heading towards the light, right?
Yeah, the light is kind of coming from this wider southeast corridor. And you can see it's getting wider as you go on.
Any sounds?
Any creatures that seem like they're gonna sneak up on us?
Give me a perception roll.
Is my rat down here somewhere?
Ratty.
Ratty. Who?
Yeah, 5. That's about right.
Oh.
I
was looking at that, like, that clearly looks like a 6, but down there it says 16 because I didn't realize it was Cossette's dice, but I didn't even see that one get rolled. I just saw the Varys got a much better roll.
As Cossette looks like she's going to walk into the wall, Eska grabs her and turns around back towards the light.
Oh, thank you.
Go towards the light, Cossette. So Varys, you listen. You do hear crackling of fire with your 16. And a couple, occasionally, like there's a couple of low voices. But you can't discern anything right now.
No, just other, as they're kind of making their way, they'll just say that, I hear voices. And just points down the more lit path.
How are you holding up, Cossette? Are you still doing okay?
Who's saying something? My perception is a little off.
Eska gets 2 inches from your face. It's me.
Who are all these people? These strangers?
Oh, that's right. It's me. Eska.
Yeah, she's fine. She a little rattled with the just gets a little nervous with the people, but I think the disguise is helping because she can kind of like be another. I think being a stuck-up person is easier to fake, so I think this is a pretty good disguise.
Good. Because we are about to have to do some of the more dangerous. And she sort of slaps her on the shoulder. You'll be fine.
Am I moving the group?
You can do.
Okay. We're going this way, right?
Apparently.
Seems like it.
So you see the passageway opens up pretty wide ahead of you, like 20 feet. But then half of it keeps going down to the left, and you can see the light getting brighter and brighter. And then the other half kind of like stops abruptly, and there's a narrow passageway that disappears off to the right. You do not see any light coming from that passageway to the right as you're looking at it.
Can we see down?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. And really what you see just reminds you so much of the chaos that you guys had to deal with last time you were down here. It's a very narrow passageway, barely 5 feet across. It does open up into what you assume was probably just that other passageway from before. That would have been south from the point you were at previously. And then it keeps going down a ways, There's another tiny little passageway off to the right, and then it just disappears into the darkness. And I mean, I'm assuming when you say, "Can we see?" you cannot. At that point, you're relying on. Well, actually, no. If you got the goggles, you can see that too. What about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, true.
Severius cannot.
I think that roll would have been even worse because my perception is a little...
It's only your passive, I believe.
Oh, okay, because it's just like the peripheral vision is a little... Yeah, okay.
I was also going to say, it doesn't seem to me that it would be crazy to have a torch. We saw other guards with torches, right?
You did.
When we were down before. So if we wanted to have a torch lit, I don't think that would be ridiculous.
Let's see. I have no torches. I left them back in Drakesburg. Or not Drakesburg, Delzimmer. The other place.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
I didn't think we
I don't know
were
if I'd left my
spelunking.
torches or not.
Go back to the staircase and just go get that little magical flame torch on the wall.
Just like bend it off.
I mean, it's just like a torch that's being held in like a hook, so you could absolutely grab that if you wanted it.
I feel like that's probably not the done thing, but that wouldn't stop Silverius, I suppose. I mean, we're heading towards light, so we'll probably be alright. I don't see what could go wrong.
Now without a torch, you can't.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, you tell me what you want to do. If you're torching it up, torch it up.
Yeah, because that's fine being up front, but she, especially with that perception roll, and she knows she's not the best with directions, so she'll follow a lead if anybody has.
I might roll to see if I brought torches, because I honestly don't know if I would have done.
All right, that's fair.
I have a candle.
Oh, your candle
That's
of
not gonna...
always lit.
Candle of the deep.
Oh, you can use that even if you go under the sewer water.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a perfect time. Get down there.
Just what she always wanted to do.
I don't know how to roll dice anymore.
That's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I could.
That's the light that you can see emerging now. Aggressive. See if I can make it less aggressive.
Oh, I don't have any torches.
Okay. Cosette, you lighting up your little candle?
I mean, if it would give any sort of light, to be fine with it. I don't know that it does, other than just maybe a few feet.
I imagine it does give you about 5 feet. Let's see.
And she's an elf, right? So like she wouldn't need it under this disguise. Not that anybody's really going to question it, I doubt. But
Only if you wanted to see in color.
no,
Yeah, they might want to see in color.
Yeah, you are half elf. That's correct. Candle gives 5 foot bright, 5 foot dim.
okay. I mean, I guess she'll let it.
All right. All right.
Or two, do we want to cut down this small little corridor?
Like, you're now emitting your light. You're emitting it as a group because you're all one thing at the moment, but whatever. It'll do. It's moving. Oh, I need to switch to reveal.
I'm just screwing around, but I assume we were continuing to walk down that way.
That does keep heading you towards the light. Certainly. And you see this corridor kind of peels off to the left, at which point the light is becoming more and more visible and brighter and warmer and friendlier. You hope. Can you see the other light?
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting. Why not? There.
Yeah, we have our radius, but
You can't see the other one. Oh, that's confusing. What if I put it... Oh, no, that's just made it disappear completely. Hold on. Where... Ooh. Oh. So you still can't see it, right?
Nope.
Okay. It's probably because, if I had to guess, I'm thinking it's because... What? Wait, what layer is it on? Now I can't even... There it is. I think it's because you can't see the thing that's emitting it, so you can't see the thing. So, let me entertain you. What if I did that? Did that help?
I don't
I don't think so.
We see one square.
You see one square? Okay, that's really weird. I don't understand what's happening. Okay, well, you're getting... Basically, you're starting to overlap with another light source at this point. Your candle is. If that helps. Since apparently it's not showing up for some unknown reason. So you've got another sort of, 30 feet before it turns to the left.
Well, I mean, I'm staying back.
Yeah, we can keep going around.
Alrighty. Here is what you see. See a couple of guards standing on the wall here. Very much reminiscent of the guards you encountered as you went through the first door into the castle. They're sort of leaning up against the door, and then as they hear you approaching, they sort of stand upright a bit and act like they're busy. They have a brazier in the sort of center-ish of this little... It's just a sort of a wider area. It's not really even a room. It's just a thing. It's an area. Yeah, it's vague. And you see a passageway heading, in fact, a couple passageways heading south out of that area. The two guards, one is nearly 7, could be 7 something feet tall. Really broad shoulders, pale gray skin, no hair aside from eyebrows on his head. Looks maybe fairly young, like 27, 28. Which is on the relatively young side. A lot of the guards you've seen tended to be older. But those who would have encountered them in their travels would assume that would be a Goliath. And then the other guy is a short, even by dwarf standards, dwarf. Like tickling 3 feet, just about. He's got like this kind of mangy, matted, dark brown beard. And he's sort of like leaning on his shield as well. And I just look over and he says, "Candle? That's different. What you got there?"
We took it off this prisoner. Was just trying it out.
Who's the prisoner?
Some magic user. Kind of like steps to the side so they can see Smokey. And are they guarding a door? I can't see.
You don't see one.
Oh, okay. They're just up against the wall.
Yeah.
I guess as she's doing that, she'll kind of walk closer to kind of see around the area.
Okay. Yep, you see, again, you see more of the route heading out south, if you kind of keep coming in a bit. Because it's pretty well lit up all the way down to, like, here. And you see there's some passageways leading off to the west. There's a lot of routes out of here. But these are the only guards you see right now.
We don't know if these are the two dudes. They don't have name badges, do they?
I won't make you roll perception for that. So I need to like turn you around so you're facing them. I guess you should probably face them around too. Eh? Seems polite.
We don't see any cells from this vantage point, right?
No, well, I guess I could make them a bit bigger actually. No, wasn't trying to, but him being slightly bigger makes sense. No, you do not see any cells. And the dwarf just says, not leaving him up there then. And just kind of points up.
Like vertically up, like to another level?
Seems to be.
Uh-oh.
This one's special.
He makes a face. Give me a persuasion roll. I guess with advantage, were you also affected? Hold on, I have that information. Eagle Splendor, yes, with advantage. Didn't you know?
22.
Alright, Gaga, let's open up. And they both turn around, and behind where they were standing, there's a small, hard-to-see recess in the wall. And they both put their hands in, appear to grab something, and then twist hard to the right. And then there is a grinding as between them in the wall, a door opens up into a narrow passageway barely 5 feet wide.
We'll see you soon then.
Well, we'll see. The I don't know how quickly you're gonna get them seen, but I guess you can always just shove them there and come back. Well, we'll hold the door open for a little bit so you can come back, but yeah, it'll probably be there's just a lot going on, and I got the impression that those guys probably aren't having guests today. Know what I mean?
Of course. Esker did not know what he meant.
Alrighty. So who's leading the way through?
Smokey!
That doesn't seem very sensible. Smokey's tied up. I mean, you can push Smokey through if you want. That's a completely viable option.
I don't mind
Might make a
going
run
first
for it.
since I have the candle and everything. Which now seems very silly.
Alright, you hold your
Does it
little candle
look
up.
cool at least?
The candle?
Yeah.
I mean, how cool
check the
can
description.
how cool can a candle that you're carrying around look?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
The only person I can think of that carries a candle around is Wee Willie Winky. I don't know if you guys
But
had
it's-
that.
Yeah, that
They should, because it's in a book that I read to Ivy.
Oh, is it?
never heard of it. But this isn't a candle from Walmart. It's a candle of the deep.
Suitably
I'm
epic
just
title.
looking. I don't know that there was official artwork for it. I've seen some pretty cool versions, though.
So yeah, let's just say it looks really
It's one of those.
Oh, that one does look really cool. Honestly, it mostly looks cool because it's underwater.
okay.
So, anyway, so you may lead into the corridor. You're not going to fit properly, but it's whatever. That's just the way it's going to be. I will show you what you see. Just one moment. So you have a narrow corridor. There's a jink, and then it straightens up ahead of you a good 50 feet, maybe more. It's a narrow corridor, but while the corridor itself isn't lit, at the end of the corridor, there is a strange shifting glow. It's like blue and green and purple. Kind of just constant shifting color.
It looks portal-like.
I guess we're doing this.
It's now or never.
Yep.
All right.
So Varus just says, "This better have been worth it."
You keep heading down the narrow corridor. At this point, you have to go single file. So, Cosette, if you're leading first, which sounds like you are, the further you get down the corridor, the more useless your candle becomes.
Fair enough. She'll put away
as
the
the glow from the head becomes clearer. It's not until you get out that you realize what you're seeing. And what you're seeing is a large room about 30 feet across. And at the far end, there's just a large, circular, shimmering, circle. That's just hovering in the air. It's not attached to anything. There's no clearly defined boundary to it. It's just this sort of circle about 20 feet across, hovering in the air, shifting color, rippling. And that's the only thing in the room.
Walk up real close. Push Silverius through. I don't, but I do kind of nudge him a little, playfully.
His gaze whips back around like that real aggressive stare, like, why the hell did you do that kind of stare?
Okay, that's what you wanted. And there's nothing else other than that. It's just
That's it.
empty room.
It's the only thing in the
Stone.
empty room.
Walls. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same sort of construction that you've seen elsewhere. With the this like there's some of it's metal, some of it's wood. Some of it's metal, some of it's stone. This appears to have been carved out of stone. This room, and then it's just this shimmering portal.
So they don't know, these folks, that they were pushed through a portal, huh? Didn't say anything about that?
They did say they went through a portal.
Okay.
I think in the very first time we checked in with them.
Yeah, I think they did say that.
Well, I guess this is where we're going then.
I don't think they saw what was happening to them, but Tedda kind of felt the shift on account of knowing such things as a traveler.
Well, I feel like as I pushed for this, it is only fair, and Esko will step through.
Okay.
Follow along.
Yeah, unless something weird happens, I'm following.
Unless she gets vaporized.
Yeah, unless I hear screams or something.
You look over on the side of the wall. There's a poster that says, "Do not step through portal."
Yeah, right. Oh, should have looked at that first.
Alrighty. So yep, you guys step through. That is a thing that has happened.
We just grew.
This is different.
So
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
you emerge through the portal, and just looking back, you see weirdly this side there is a large stone archway that houses the other side of this portal. The world on this side is very, very different to what you've seen before. The sky above is roiling green-gray clouds. Around you, plant life that none of you have ever seen before grows. Every branch, every vine, even the trunks, all look to be laden with jagged thorns. And ahead of you, you see rising up, there is what looks like a 10 or more foot, like 10, 12 feet tall wall of these thick vines that have all like twisted around each other to form walls. You can, over the top of the walls, see a couple of landmarks. Maybe a mile or so away, beyond these thick vined walls, you see what looks like some sort of craggy mountain. It's a little hard to tell exactly what you're seeing because of the like you can't see what's at the base because of the thick thorns in front of you. Off to the right, you kind of like from where you're at, the vegetation is so thick that you cannot see, like if you look to either side of the portal, like left or right of it, looking back, the vegetation is just so thick that you can't see beyond vegetation. It's like there is a wall of some sort of vegetation, and that kind of spreads out as like a cone of clear ground that leads up towards what appears to be a vined archway that leads into that viney, like thorny vine wall. And then off to the right, you do see about 200 yards off to the right, you see what a large tree, much larger than a lot of the other trees around. You see a large tree at the base of which are, even from this distance you can tell, wooden cages. Again, you would assume at this point probably quite thorny wood. Make a perception check, anyone who wishes to.
Oh, perception. This, I'll say, is this this seems like elf land to me. Eska, what's going on here?
Anyone who wishes to can also make Arcana.
Yeah.
22 for perception.
21 Arcana.
15 for perception.
Okay. So for those looking, what you don't see is any guards. Not a single one. And as you look and listen, there's no insect sound. No chirping of birds. You do hear the wind and the occasional rumble from the clouds above. But the only life that you can really see around here right now is this weird twisted vegetation. Those rolled Arcana. It's just Silveris. You kind of pour through your knowledge of other planes. Feywild, Shadowfell, the planes of hell, and you're like, no, this doesn't feel like any of them. If you had to guess based on what you have learned in your studies, this is some sort of corrupted other plane. Maybe not a full plane, like a demi-plane of some sort. This is very much not on your radar. The specifics of this place you do not know. You can just sort of rule out places it isn't, essentially.
And we see cages up ahead of us?
Yeah, they're about 200 yards. Kind of near where the wall starts. This thick wall of vines. But off to the right of what appears to be some sort of gateway entrance to the walls, whatever is beyond there.
Is there a trodden path on the ground? Or is it still just full of the wild vegetation, sort of?
Give me survival.
Yeet. 19.
Okay. You do see that the ground is not always sturdy underfoot, and it looks like there is a route heading in the general direction of the cages that is avoiding. There's some of the ground looks a bit mossy, and it looks like the path kind of detours around those mossy patches every time. You think it would be wise to avoid stepping on them off.
I'll point down and bring that to everyone's attention.
It seems there's a preferred path we should follow.
Yeah.
If we are to proceed.
Well, Badger, this seems like maybe more your thing, actually.
And he'll take the moment to just let everybody know that
This plane, wherever we are, keep your eye out. It's not one of the known ones. Could be a machination of our purveyor.
I'm going. I would like to do. Let's see. What is it? What is it that I want to do? Primeval awareness.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Give me that list again. I always ask. It's so hard to keep track of.
Alrighty, so this is not favored terrain, so it would be up to a mile for aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey, fiends, and undead.
Okay. As you focus and just reach out into the world, there's a moment where you almost stop because it feels so gross. It's so unlike even the feeling that you have reaching out in the Underdark. It's unsettling, but there's some comfort because you know it so well. And that there's a sort of a weird warmth in the creepy darkness there. Here, it feels so cold and alien to you as you're reaching out to try and feel the surroundings and understand what's happening around you. You don't get any celestial, fey, fiend, or undead right now. You do, however, get not necessarily a full feeling of aberration, dragon, and elemental. What you get is the very land around you and the plants and the viney walls ahead of you. Everything feels like an aberration. Everything feels like a dragon. It feels elemental. This is something completely new to you that you wouldn't have experienced before. It's very hard to fully comprehend how a tree 20 feet from you is giving you that faint resonating hum of the same feeling you had when you knew there was a dragon nearby. But that's the vibe you're getting.
This place doesn't feel natural. It's giving me all sorts of weird feelings.
I mean, I just want to find our friends and get out as fast as possible.
Do we still have that scroll?
Smokey pipes up and says, I can actually just, we can use this scroll for sure, but I did prepare this spell also.
Well, let's hurry this up, because if they shut this thing, I don't know how we're getting out of here.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'll probably start going forward because I just don't like it around here. I'm gonna break formation a bit and start heading down that path that seems like it's kind of been worn out a little bit.
Okay. As you do, Smokey cast a spell. It actually isn't on that sheet right now. Let me see it. Perfect. So it takes 1 action. Beautiful. So Smokey closes his eyes and focuses, and imagines the grumpy face of Colas. It says, "Okay, so, in the cages, yes, not moving. He's stationary. Colas is there for sure. I can only focus on one at a time." Badro, lead on now. Follow.
Okay, I will pick my path closely, hoping that nothing eats me.
Okay.
So Arif brings Skeedox back out too.
Okay. Kedox looks around and, like, shivers on your shoulder.
That's odd.
Alrighty, so you head regular pace, slow pace for stealth. What are we thinking?
I'm not worried about stealth. I'll go regular pace. I'm just kind of like want to get out of here.
Yeah, technically we're supposed to be here in some ways, so taking the prisoner towards the cages should not in and of itself be odd.
Okay. So you head off in this general direction and off the map. I'll be back on just so we can see you. So it takes, a couple minutes to walk and get to the cages. And as you get close, you can see that the cages look very, just outward appearance, they look very mundane. It looks like when you are young and you're first taken, like, on your first camping trip, and you're taught how to tie wood together to make a shelter, that sort of thing. Like, it's very rudimentary. But again, all of the wood is covered in these, like, sharp looking thorns. Cages, there's half a dozen cages next to each other. It's sort of essentially like 6 cages that are all part of one kind of mega cage structure, I guess. About 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot. And right now you see only 2 of them are occupied. And sitting in the center of each of those 2 cages, you see Colas and Tedda. And they briefly look up at you and just look down.
Are we close up to the cages now?
Yeah, you at this stage you've sort of got within 15, 20 feet.
Is there anything between where we're at and anything that seems off about the area between us and the cages before I step forwards?
Give me another perception roll.
Uh, 18.
No. You keep expecting there to be more,
Mm-hmm.
and there isn't.
I mean, until
Just
something...
path. And then you see cages. They have, the bars are not wide enough to fit through. There's enough there that's kind of, keeping it closed off. The gap is, the gaps are sort of like 9 inches. Well, varies a little bit, but sort of 6 to 9 inches wide. So not enough to fit a person through. And then there's doors that have locks on the outside. And then that's it, yeah. The other 4 cages that aren't occupied, you can see the locks are like hanging on just one part of the door. The key is in the locks for those ones. They're just sitting empty for now.
Do the locks look... What do they look like?
They look like fairly run-of-the-mill locks at a brief glance.
At a brief glance, can I look at them to see if there's any weird crap about them? If they're trapped or anything? I mean, probably not trapped, but never know. This is weird land.
Give me
Weird crap check.
Yeah.
we'll call that inspection. I mean investigation. Apparently it's been a while since I've asked for an investigation roll.
We'll call investigation inspection.
15. Okay, that's,
An investigation.
There we go.
It looks like a pretty standard normal world lock.
Aribado.
Okay, let's do this. Hey, you two, it's we're not who you think we are. We're here to get you out of here.
Yeah, right.
Eska talk. I don't have time for this, and I start picking the locks with my thieves' tools.
Okay.
We came for you as we said we would. Prepare yourselves.
Oh, this will be fun. All right. Yeah. Give me a Thieves' Tools check, please. Chinks open easily.
Okay. All right. Is there anything we need to worry about here? Like I asked the Colosantetta. You see anything strange? Like outside of all the weird, strange stuff that's already here?
Yeah, they sort of chuckle at that. And, oh, everything's strange.
All right. Anything dangerous? Like anything we need to worry about?
Tedda just says, probably not the time to go into all the details, but yes, this is definitely not a plane that I knew about before I came here, and whoever created it is very powerful, and just because they're not here doesn't mean they're not going to know we're gone. So let's be very quick.
Let's go now.
So only one is unlocked right now.
All right, so I'll go over to the other one and unlock that one too then.
Go for it. Who did you unlock first?
It's the one on the right, whichever that one is.
Alright, let's coalesce. And Coalesce just says, don't suppose you saw our gear, did you?
12 for the next one.
Did we note anything along the course of our route that could have been equipment chest or such? Thinking back.
Thinking back, it's possible that crate that the old guard had his feet on could have been that sort of thing, potentially. That's the only place that you've seen so far that could have been like a personal effects type storage. There's nothing on your walk out here that you've seen that was gear. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can check on the way back through.
And as you say that, Coalesce looks up and says, "Oh bugger." And you kind of look to follow where he's looking, and there's a pair of birds that seem to be circling and slowly getting closer and closer over to where the cages are at.
Big birds, little
He did
birds.
mention the birds, didn't he?
Pretty sizable, you would guess. Always a little hard perspective-wise with birds, depending on how high up they are. Shape-wise, I'm sure Eska would recognize some sort of bird of prey type thing. Hawk, vulture. Not vultures are really birds of prey, but that sort of wing shape, you know, large, wide, broad soaring wings. Well, yes, I did find a way to get bird information into our game again.
Is there anything stopping us from moving at this point?
Look around. Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
So did they have their cage unlocked then?
Yep. Other cage unlocked.
Okay, we need to get out of here. We're going to have a hard enough problem as it is when we get on the other side. Let's try not to get stuck here.
I assume you figured out a good way of sneaking us out, right?
Yeah,
That
of course.
That is what we will do once we get out of this.
They just kind of look at each other and like... both of them...
If you wish, we can lock you back up and you can stay.
Bugger, let's go. They both reach down, grab some of the dirt, and just kind of rub it into their hands. Bardor, you would very much recognize the type. It's not exactly the same as what you do, but it's a very similar vibe as they cast Longstrider on themselves. Right, well, if we're going to move fast.
I'm pretty sure I put the tabard on for the Drake's Warden as a backup just in case our stuff fell off. I'm going to so I'm going to take mine off and throw it to one of them. Be like, put this on. Might not help too much, but maybe it'll throw somebody off.
Let's grabs it and says, "You look a fool in this, Teta." Alright. What about short stuff?
And I guess technically we could bind your hands.
kind of says, hold on, let me think. Right, hold on. And he starts casting a spell, and he changes his appearance, looks about a foot taller, so like 4 foot something. Looks like a dwarf. Not too dissimilar to Chaz, you would say. The dwarf who let you in here. But taller than Chaz. But, you know, could easily be Chaz's cousin. That's all I can think of in a pinch.
Good. Let's go.
And you see, they're just sort of wearing very basic clothes right now, both of them. Not armor. Clearly don't have anything on them. Apparently their clothes don't even have pockets, because they got nothing in the pockets. Well, I don't know how you're going to pull this off, but yes, let's go.
Eska's gonna book it for the entrance.
Okay. So it doesn't take you very long to get back towards the portal. It's still glowing. That same shimmering sort of green, purple, blue shifting between colors. This large, I mean, you know, this archway is sort of like 20 foot tall to encompass the size of the portal. As you get towards the portal, Bardor and probably Eska, your passives would pick up on this. One of the 2 birds lands in a tree not too far from the portal and is watching.
Watching, huh?
The other one seems to have disappeared.
That's not good. Does this look like one of the falconer's birds in Delzimmer?
No, it does not. It most certainly does not. This, now that it's landed and it's closer, this is larger than any of the birds that Gethin kept. Bird is about 3.5 feet from sort of foot to shoulder height, basically. It has a long featherless neck and a featherless head with a large beak and very passionless eyes that are just like, it cocks its head slightly and just bores a hole into you with its eyes. And then it glances up to the skies and green lightning starts sparking in the clouds just as you're getting towards the portal.
Eska's gonna pause at the portal and make sure that everybody is heading through.
Okay. Let's have everybody please roll a dexterity check. Not saving throw. Well, yeah, sure, we can make a saving throw. Dexterity saving throw. Why not?
Boy.
Ooh, 23.
Ooh, 17.
And everyone within 10 feet of me? Maybe most
there's a
everyone
bless on that.
gets a +2?
Whoop, whoop. That's a 29 for me then. Natural 20.
Wow.
One sec.
I think so.
I do a cartwheel and flick off the bird.
Yeesh. 9 total. But it does include me, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you're definitely covered. That's the beauty of it. Even if no one else is near you, it's still good. Okay, so Eska, you kind of like stop and wait at the portal's edge, as Bador and Silvarius and Tedda and Colas and Claire and Smokey bundle through. And as far as you can tell, everyone has made it through okay. You look up, and that bird is just watching you. And the sky feels darker, except for the sparks of green lightning that are arcing across it.
I will wave and smile at the bird, then step through the portal.
Okay. As you step through, you bloop. There we go. As you step through, you have to very quickly scramble to avoid falling into Smokey and Cassette, who have absolutely tumbled over each other into the middle of this hallway. Cassette, remind me what armor you put on when you borrowed the armor from Marius.
Yeah, let me check. I always forget. Split. It's not right.
I guess maybe did you just get regular splint?
Must be because I didn't change my AC, yeah. Or I changed it back once I got the new one, so.
There is a very loud clattering. Eska, you don't catch most of this until you come through. And you just hear this din as Smokey and Cosette tumble over each other. Smokey kind of like squeals and hisses a bit. And then from down the corridor you just hear, "What the hells was that?"
I'm gonna ask Smokey quickly. I was like, can you shrink them? Like turn them both into rats, or can you leave that with one of them? What's going on?
Like change how they look?
Well, I mean, we've got that going on ourselves, but I was like, what if you could shrink them down? We could put them in our pockets or something real quick.
I don't. Oh, hold on. Let me think. Let me think. And Smokey do that.
Can we not pretend that we were told to bring these ones back?
Maybe we should have said that when we were going in.
Well, we wouldn't have known until we got in there, right? It sounded like if you stay in there, there is some, I didn't see it, but some form of organization, perhaps. We were told when we were inside that they were done with these ones and to bring them back out.
We can go with that if that doesn't work.
If that doesn't work, we may have to subdue the guards. If we can hide them, that is great, but just in case.
Well, it might have to be down here, or maybe throw them through the portal.
I don't have anything that can do this. No, sorry. We could just have them stand behind us. It's all I've got. And he just shrugs.
I like it. Let's all form a line. And sidle out sideways. Coles and Teta will stand behind us, and they will never see
Of course,
them.
I'm not supposed to be here either now. I am also supposed to be in the prison, right?
I've got a plan for that. They did not.
Smokey's about to sort of ask, can you tell me what it... Oh, never mind. As he's saying that, you hear footsteps coming down the hallway. Large footsteps.
You three look like prisoners. Quick.
Colas and Teta and Smokey quickly, like, put their arms behind their backs, looking as prisonery as possible.
I'll try to rip that tabard away from Colas.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check. And let me have the other three of you. Give me just D20 rolls, please.
Holy shnikes.
Oh
Again?
no, I don't know how to do that.
Another
Well, just roll the D20.
Is there
On the left.
a command for that? I don't know where it is on the left.
Is backslash
A 3.
Roll 1d20.
Oh, I can't get to my
Backslash
keyboard
roll.
either. Where's the dice on the left?
It's on the
It's
top
the bottom one.
left. Yeah, the bottom icon on the top left. It'll
The
open
bottom one. Oh
the
yeah,
grid.
yep, got it. Thank you.
I forgot how far away your screen was.
I can barely see anything.
Yep.
10.
Okay. 10, 11, and 3. Okay. So, Butter, your sleight of hand is good enough to offset one of the bad rolls there. And you are, as you realize that Colas is not doing a good enough job of looking prisonery, you kind of morph your pulling of the tabard off into like a backhand at the same time, and just give him a smack to sort of straighten him up. And you see the Goliath coming lumbering down the whole way here. Yeah. What was all that racket? And then he kind of looks and says, "Wait, I thought you were dropping one off, not picking them up."
Yeah, change of plans. They were done with these ones. And this one they didn't figure. They took one look, said wasn't special after all. We got in a bit of trouble for that.
Give me a persuasion roll. Still with advantage. We're still inside the hour.
I don't know if this is better or worse for me, but it feels deceptive.
That should be deception. Yeah, you're right. That should absolutely be deception. I agree. Because that is not the truth.
15?
Please hold. Need to pull up the stat block here.
I mean, need.
So, you're telling me that they're done with these two and they didn't even want this one?
Yeah, they're very busy. They don't want ones down there that ain't worth their time.
And who exactly told you that?
Who do you think?
Not what I asked. And you see his knuckles crack slightly.
You got a problem with it? You can go in there and argue. I'm not arguing.
Just tell me who gave you the orders. That's all I need to know.
Eska will turn around and say to Cosette, hey, why don't you come up and tell him, and she'll give a glance at her kind of raised eyebrows.
Does she want me to
She's sort of
go up
trying
to
to
the guard?
she's trying to convey that you should get up close and I mean, she's trying to convey that maybe you should do something physically without saying you should do something physically.
Give me oh yeah. Oh.
I don't know that she was
Eska.
picking up on that.
It's traditional.
Yeah. Eska's nonverbals have never been great.
She's not used to these eyebrows.
Instead, she'll just kind of, I don't know where we are in relation to each other, but she'll just come up close to you and like trying to hear better. Which probably isn't helping.
I was
The
saying...
guard steps a little bit further forward and just says, "Don't talk to her. Talk to me."
I was saying I wasn't the one that got the orders. Eska's not quite sure what to do now.
Can I do? Oh gosh, here we go. Can I do a brain check to see if I picked up any names of any guards within the city? In any time, like overhearing any names.
Yes. But you know what it's going to be.
Yes, I like the name of that captain or whatever. Whenever we were on the side of that, whenever Eska did the unmentionables to my bottom.
I mean, we should...
Yeah.
I'm not sure we should call it that.
Yeah, that might actually be the worst nickname.
Well, I'm just saying this is Bardor's shame.
That is a history roll. I'm
Yeah, I
afraid.
figured it would be, and I'm sadly here for it. Come on, haha, 16.
That is enough. Gosh. What session was that you were down there? Hold on.
Making you look through the notes, because I did not write that down.
I'm hoping I did. I can't say for sure that I did. I'm trying to remember what. Let's see. That was it. Let's check. Probably in the region of 12, I think. 12, 13. Yes, it is. 12. Okay. I don't think I documented a name for him, but I think it's feasible that you would have heard one mentioned during that period, that snobby half-wood elf with the goatee. So we will say that is what's his name? Because I don't have it here. We'll call him Leander. And you would have known based on insignia that he was a sergeant.
I'll pipe up and be like, "That was Leander. He said that we needed to do this."
Okay, hold on. Rolling dice on my end. He does soften a little bit. You see him kind of thinking. Well, let's station Leander over on the other side. It's not even really a question. It's just sort of like an out loud musing. Fine. So what, you taking him back up? What's the plan?
Yeah,
I can't believe they're just being cut loose.
we're taking them back up to the top there, top cells.
He seems genuinely perplexed. Fine. Alright. And he steps to one side. And then just kind of cools down the core and says, "Coming through, Chaz. Somehow there's more of them now." And that is where we'll end.
Front row. One step